Welcome to Talk Tuesdays
with
Jenna at the Muscle Mommy
and Vannesa at the Girl Squats or at Trail.of.Champions. And then we are having our very first special guest, Miss Karah.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
And who are you?
I am Karah Jones. I am the owner of Angel Competition Bikinis. We create competition suits for women all over the world.
Love it. And you also have the Angel Competition Fashion Show.
Yes.
And you guys do some amazing stuff. Like, so people that work with you, like teams that work with you, you guys can also do like branded merch, right?
Yes. Yeah. We're really big on the community. So that's why we do the fashion show and, being that one-stop shop for all of our customers' needs. So doing that branded apparel, a lot of coaches and teams, they really want to stand out. So that kind of can help us, help coaches with their team.
Very nice. Very nice. How did you start this? Like, how did you come about thinking about providing bikinis to competitors?
Yeah, that's a great question. So back in 2013, I had just graduated college. I was working as a respiratory therapist, and I loved my job, but it wasn't my passion. My passion was always something more creative and fitness. So I decided right after I graduated, I was going to compete in a bodybuilding competition, and I absolutely fell in love with the sport. And one thing that stood out with me after my first show, my mom was there and she looked at me and said, "Well, I could make these suits," because I didn't really feel confident in my first suit. It wasn't custom made to me. It was really low in the front. Whenever I look back at those photos, I'm staring at like the front of the bottom. It's like it's cringeworthy. And I didn't feel as confident as I would have liked because of that. So, I was talking with my mom and she was like, "Yeah, I can make your next one." So, we started working together right at 2013, working on suits. And my twin sister Lauren was there with us, helping us along the way because she competed as well. And, one thing led to another. And a year after I started the design process, was able to quit my job and go full time in the business with Lauren. And since 2013, we have just continuously grown. We've really been the company for the athletes because we are athletes ourselves. And I think that's one thing that really, really helped us in the beginning and to this day, because I had no business background and knowing exactly how like I wanted to be like a consumer for competition bikinis, how I wanted to be marketed to, that came very naturally and easy, constantly evolving and working on the best fit, having that bodybuilder mindset with our business, never settling for what we were yesterday, 1% better. We're never ever good enough has really been crucial to our evolution and consistent growth.
That's wonderful.
And I know in like I feel like in the last 2 years, you guys have changed production, like quality and also some of the cuts. Like you guys have always consistently grown and evolved with the sport. How do you think that, like, how do you manage that? Like,
So that has been very challenging, to be honest. Every single January, we make little tweaks to the pattern based on judges' feedback, coaches' feedback, and our customer feedback. Is this, fitting exactly how you wanted, adding new styles. So, changing our pattern every single year does come with a lot of challenges. If you have a customer that has ordered two suits in 2019, for example, and then they order another suit in 2025, it's going to be pretty different because of the evolution from those 6 years. Over like 2024 to 2025, there's not going to be much changes, but over 5 years, if you look at even, the photos on NBC News Online, for example, the suits look completely different. So it can be a challenge when customers are expecting, a 2019 cut and it's different. One thing about customer service is, consistency is one of the top priorities for customer service. So for example, you go to Starbucks and you kind of expect that burnt coffee taste and you always get it. So they love it, even though it's maybe not the best coffee. And so that's something that we do struggle with, but we always have the athletes in mind, helping them feel as confident as possible and win in their suits. So that's kind of the core of our business, even though it is challenging to consistently change. It's something that we will never stop doing.
Love it. And do you actually see any trends from 2025 that are different? Like maybe I've seen a lot of velvet.
Yeah. So 2024, we launched our Velvet. And well, I guess it launched in 2022, but we didn't really see it pick up until last year. And then it went crazy last year. I would say 25% of our suits were on Velvet. And if you look at the Olympia stage, the majority of those Olympians had a Velvet suit on. Another interesting change I kind of foresee coming in 2025 is actually opposite of every single year before. And that is a little bit more coverage. Even on the bikini division, we, when we started, it was a Brazilian cut was our most popular. And then it went down to pro cut. And then it went down to micro cut. Well, we're kind of seeing a trend of unless you are like the pristine of like on the Olympia stage with that level of conditioning and body fat that can wear the micro cut, that you should be in the pro cut. So, just a little bit more coverage this year, I anticipate, but I could be wrong on that. That's just kind of where I see it going, and it's interesting because it's been opposite every single year before that.
Do you see any like trends for colors?
Ooh, I love this question. So the trends for colors has been very interesting throughout the years. Like, for example, in 2018, the most popular color was hologram turquoise. And then 2019 era, it kind of switched into emerald. And then once Ashley got on stage wearing red, it went all to red. And then, I thought that when Maureen won the Olympia in pink, that we would see a lot of pink, but actually we did not. So sometimes what we think is going to happen doesn't. So for 2025 colors, always the jewel tones are always the top sellers and they look the best on stage. So we're talking dark blue, dark green, dark purple, those darker colors. And then I hope that the hologram turquoise trend or the velvet turquoise trend comes out because one thing about colors on stage is if you're familiar with like a color wheel and you look at like where orange is on the color wheel, what's opposite that is a turquoise color. And so that's going to be what pops the most against orange. And I say orange because the tan is, I
Yeah.
mean, it's pretty orange. So I personally love the turquoise look on stage. I do not think you can go wrong with a turquoise suit. And I don't know, we'll see what happens with color because I'm not, I am the vast minority here when I say this. I'm not the biggest fan of red on stage. And I think it's because it's so similar to orange that sometimes it can get lost in the tan and it just doesn't pop as much as I like the suits to pop. But I mean, I'm clearly the minority because red has always been in our top one or two colors.
What do you think are like for a first time competitor? Do you have one or two colors that you would recommend as quote unquote being safe for a competitor to wear on stage?
Great question. Yes. So as I said, turquoise is always safe, no matter your skin tone or hair color. And then, dark blue is always a favorite. And then hologram emerald is great as a safe color. When you try to pull off a yellow or pink or let's see,
Gold.
gold. Yeah, you
I
have to
hate
have a very specific type of skin tone with the tan and hair to pull that off. But if you can pull it off, we had an in-person consultation come in yesterday and she put on a yellow suit. And I was just like, this is your color. You have to wear this yellow suit because not very many people can pull this off. And so you're going to stand out in a good way versus, someone like me that has a more of a pink undertone to my skin. I'm very Irish. Yellow is not going to ever work on my skin.
Now you said in-person eval. Where are you located?
We're located in Kansas City. So if you're ever in the Midwest, we give tours. If you come in and we can do an in-person sizing, fitting, order your suit, you can see where all the magic happens. And it's actually something we're really proud of because, only 1% of, I think it's even less than that now, 1% of apparel businesses in the US actually manufacture in the US. A lot of what you see when it says made in USA, it's almost like a t-shirt that you buy overseas in an application and you put it on. But when you come here, you'll see like the bolts of fabric. You'll see we have about 15 different steps that go through everything from the liner, all the way through. So it's really cool, I think, to see in person, how the suit is made.
How have you like scaled your business from when you first began to now your production over the years? Did you
Oh,
start?
wow, that's been a struggle. We've had a lot of business mentors along the way. Again, like I had no business background and obviously no business background in, manufacturing and production. So I'm a lifelong learner and I absolutely love to learn. So it's been fun for me, but at the same time, we have, used a lot of business mentors and just consistently like trying to get more efficient with every single step. We follow that philosophy of 1% better every single day. So I don't know if you're familiar with like the lean manufacturing concept. If you can take down 1 second off of a time, from like walking to maybe grab scissors, if you can move them closer, so little things like that. We're just always, always improving and scaling. That is crucial.
That makes sense. Did you start off in your home?
Yes. Well, okay. So we actually started off in an apartment.
Okay.
Our living room had a big cover stitch sewing machine and an industrial cover stitch sewing machine. And it was really funny if you were there. I really wish I would have taken a picture of it, but I did not. So we started in our apartment, then we moved to a house, and about half the house was the business. And then slowly the business kind of took over the house. And then the city of Mission, Kansas found out. I didn't know that wasn't allowed, but they were like, you can't run a business out of a house. So we quickly had to move into a commercial space. And we've been in our current space, which is 6,500 square feet since 2017.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And so like what is your like for last year, do you know off the top of your head how many bikinis that you manufactured and sold?
Probably around 4,500.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, there's a team of 18 of us all in Kansas City.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's incredible. It's a great story.
That's awesome. Let's talk about suits. So you do a wide variety of suits. So you obviously have practice suits, you have the fitness, the wellness, figure, physique, now the fit division, bodybuilding, and then also the fashion suits, right?
Yes.
Or yeah, what would you call those?
We have couture suits that are sometimes worn in the fashion show, and those are the ones they're very high fashion, lots of embellishments. We can really go crazy with creativity on those. Those are my personal favorite to like wear. But yeah, we make suits for all female divisions.
Okay, and nothing for the men. You don't do posing trunks for men?
No.
Okay, just to clarify that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't, we aren't, well, I'm not passionate about men's attire. So it's something that is, if I'm not passionate about something, I'm not going to put energy into it. So yeah, no men's, unfortunately.
That makes sense.
All good. It's all good. And then, so I just kind of dove into it. I do want to talk a little bit more about the couture suits, but fit division.
Yes, it's
That is
brand new.
that is a new cut that you guys are doing technically, right?
Yes, and that will be evolving, I would say like every other month this year. Right now I know the judges and NPC are very, very strict on what they're wanting. So on these first couple shows of the year, they're going to be very strict. And I do, knowing the history of the NPC and the different divisions, they are very quick to evolve with what the athletes are wanting. So I do see there be some quick changes. I anticipate there being less coverage here shortly, maybe this year, but definitely by next year. And I do foresee there being some type of, extra element allowed, whether that's crystallized connectors or a small amount of crystals on the suit, something, because that's what, we're getting so much feedback like, oh, I want crystals on my fit model suit. Like, why can't I do that? And, we don't make the rules. We just follow them. We say, no, like they're not gonna, you could get disqualified. So, right now it's very interesting and we're, watching the updates every single day. We went to the first show down in LA just to get a firsthand look at what it looked like, what the posing looked like, what the judges wanted. So, we are very dedicated and committed to getting this fit model cut perfect. But I will say, perfect today is going to change in 6 months,
Right.
depending on the judges.
Uh-huh. That makes sense.
Are they allowed to have crystals like within the shoes?
That's a good question. I think I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
like
I
because
don't think it specifies on the
yeah,
rules.
because I know like the shoe fairy has like the rhinestoney
Yep.
bottoms,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was just curious. Just curious.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You went to the first one. Has there been another? There hasn't been another Fit Division show yet, has there?
I think there's one.
No, there's just been one.
And then the next one I think is that
I
one
think
in,
it's in 2 weeks.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Are you gonna go to that one?
No, I'm not going to that one, but we will be watching it live and taking notes. And we do have some athletes competing, so we have some questions for them to ask the judges backstage, when they get feedback. Having that really strong community really, really helps our business because, we can have like some of our athletes, hey, when you get your feedback, can you please ask for feedback on your cut and let us know what they say? That really helps us, constantly evolve and make the best cut.
And the fact that you're so willing to go out of your way to ask the athletes is like so important and also very indicative of how you run your ship.
Yeah, that just comes natural to us because we are competitors. So, you know, having someone on stage, if I knew a girl was on stage in an angel suit that they didn't feel confident or that the judges didn't like, that wouldn't sit well in me. So, we are very proactive on making sure that our suits make all the athletes feel confident.
And then something that I have always admired about you guys is like one, okay, you guys have the angel fashion shows. Great, cool. But you guys also give back to the community a lot, meaning you guys also do seminars. So I know you guys just did the one in January, like the what were you at NPC workshop too?
We had one of our suit stylists there, but that was actually the same weekend as the first Fit Model
Yeah.
show. And Lexi was there taking notes for us and
Yeah.
representing Angel for us.
Yeah. And then you guys were at the seminar prior to that with I just know Cass because Cass is one of my really good friends. So I know you guys were at that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really fun.
Do you have any other shows or seminars that you guys are going to be looking forward to that you would like to share?
Yeah, we have a really busy 2025 schedule. I'm actually not traveling in February at all, which is so rare for me. Our next big event, well, I guess I'm traveling February 27th, but our next big event is the Arnold, which is on March 1st. And this will be our biggest Arnold fashion show yet. And the Arnold, I don't I feel like it's okay for me to say this. It is my favorite fashion show of the year, every single year. The Arnold's is always my favorite. And that's because we go on stage right after IFBB bikini prejudging. So if you can imagine, like the 10 best bikini athletes in the world get on stage, and then we get to follow up with that with our fashion show. And I just really like, that the audience can see, what that top tier conditioning looks like, but then also see a different side of female fitness and bikinis and see it more in a realistic way. Because as inspiring as it is to see those top 10 girls on stage, it can be a little bit disheartening if, you're nowhere near that physique. So following it up with the fashion show, it really like puts the why and the purpose behind the Angel Fashion Show to the forefront, showing women that this is realistic for you to get into fitness, to feel confident, to get on stage and, do something for yourself. So I really love that one.
How do you pick models for the fashion show?
That's a great question. So we do get a lot of applications and it can be I'm sort of once removed from that. Savannah Sharp does a lot of the picking for it because it can be very, I don't know the word for it, I guess stressful because, you want all these girls to participate, but then there is a cap for us because, we can't go over a certain amount of models because that's just too much for us to manage. And we want to consistently grow the fashion show. So we can't like sacrifice quality for the participants in order to get more participants, if that makes sense. So, it can be a hard process, but we look for a diversity of women because we don't want all women from, Ohio under the same coach that like kind of look the same, so we like to have a diversity of women in different parts of their physique. So some people that have never competed before, some people that have no desire to ever compete, they're just into fitness. And then we have athletes that, 2 weeks out from a show. So it showcases all different types of women, all ages. We have a model that is 73 walking in the Arnold this year. So it's truly very diverse, all ages welcome.
That's incredible. Is there like a on your website an application for the public to apply to?
Yeah, if you go to angelfashionshow.com, you can get all the information.
Okay.
Have you ever seen one in person?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, which one did you see?
oh gosh, it was years ago. I can't recall which one it was.
Was it the one in San Antonio? The San Antonio Classic one?
I believe so, yeah.
Like 2 years ago?
Okay, was that in, we've done it twice. So we did a 2022 show or no, we did a 2020, yeah, we did a 2022 show and a 2023 show in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it was 2023 then.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was in the Olympia fashion show in 2023.
Cool.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's awesome.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to do the Arnold sometime.
Yeah. Well, I will likely be walking around with, I'll be documenting Cass for her show,
Oh,
so
okay.
I can't do other things.
Yeah, I am so excited to see Cass on stage. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to sound biased that she's like the one I'm the most looking forward to, but I just so thrilled that we were sponsoring her now and to see her in an angel suit on stage. I just cannot wait for that moment. I'm probably gonna tear up a little bit because I've been a fan of hers for so long.
She's so amazing. And I'm
Mhm.
so excited whenever we were talking about whenever she was going over, I was just like, yes. Like, yes. Something that I wanted to talk to you about in general is like the fact that you as Angel are always so willing to help other business forward women, and like you're about empowering, which is the reason why the fashion show is so important, right?
Mhm.
But you also like to make sure that your athletes are also like business minded, and you like to help them as much as you can from what I've gathered from other, like from the grapevine, and I just
Yeah.
think it's really cool.
Yeah, one thing that I find true just in all areas of life, not only business, is the circle of reciprocity. The more that you can help other people out, the more it comes back to you. And it's not like we help people to get help. It's kind of done in an authentic, altruistic way, just that circle will always come back around. And you're a happier person if you just consistently help people. Just knowing that you're a helpful, community for women, it's a really feel good thing. And it's something that, when I first started competing, I always wanted that community because back in 2013, especially in Kansas City, there were not very many bodybuilders, female bodybuilders at all. And so it was pretty lonely, because it's such a unique sport that requires something different. Like, it's very different from any other sport with the dedication.
Mhm.
I'm not trying to downplay any other sports, but from an adult perspective, there's not very many sport opportunities for us. And it can be lonely if you don't have that community. So we really focused on to find, what we want. That's kind of like been the backbone of our business, being that we are the athletes, we are the consumers.
I wholeheartedly agree. Do you actually have any advice to aspiring business owners or business women or maybe athletes that want to work with you? Either one.
Yeah, so for aspiring business people, just know that when it gets tough, that's when the changes happen. When you're really in the weeds of it and you feel like you can't go any further, really pushing through and getting over that hump is crucial to your growth because, learning from failure is the best way to learn. And, if you can take any mistake you make, anything that goes wrong, listening to your angriest customers, that's where you find the most, fortitude to keep going forward. So just keep pushing through, especially when it gets hard. And that's when it's going to be the hardest. So reminding yourself that it is hard. There will be tons and tons of challenges, but as long as you can learn from your challenges along the way, you will be successful because, even if the business that you're trying to make doesn't work out, you've learned so much in the process, you'll be able to take that knowledge, that firsthand knowledge, and apply it to something else.
Love
Great
that.
advice.
Yeah, I agree. If somebody wants to work with you as an athlete,
Yeah, that is a great question. So if you want to become a sponsored athlete, the best option is to start as an angel ambassador. And what this is it's kind of a step below a sponsored athlete of a way to quote unquote prove yourself to us that you kind of have the community, have the drive to be a sponsored athlete. So starting as an angel ambassador and really representing the brand and our values, being a role model, being empowering and having that community, that is our potential customers. So a lot of people think, oh, if I have a million Instagram followers, I can just get a sponsorship easy. Well, not really, because, if you are a female model, for example, and all of your Instagram followers are men, you can't really do anything to help us, to be completely honest. So, it's more than having a big following or being like Insta famous. It's more about, having that community, having, opposing coach. You have so much influence over these girls and you can really help these girls that need suits. So that's what we look for, is someone that's very strong in the female athlete community versus someone that's just Instagram famous. That doesn't really help us.
Mhm.
yeah, engaged versus engaged audience versus just a general audience. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the biggest thing.
Mhm.
I agree. I agree. And then do you have any like because you're a mom too, right?
I am a mom to be, so I'm currently 4 months pregnant. I do not have any kids yet.
Exciting. Was that announced? Because maybe I
Yes.
was thinking of your sister.
So it gets confusing because I have an identical twin sister and she has one child and she's also pregnant right now too. So
Ah,
she is pregnant with her second and I'm pregnant with my first and I'm about a month behind her. So it's been really cool. We're pregnant together and yeah, it's been a cool journey so far.
I love it.
that's incredible.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
congratulations.
I'm very excited.
Are you scared? Are you nervous? Is there anything that you're scared like about?
You know, I'm more excited right now. People keep telling me like how much my life is going to change and I'm here for it and here to learn along the way and I'm actually not scared. I'm not scared at all of labor right now. I know like that might change, but I'm just actually like really excited to, go through the process. It's been 4 months. I'm almost halfway through, and it's been really, really cool to see the changes in my body and just, like how I feel on, different weeks and the different symptoms that come up. And I kind of sound like a psychopath when I say this, but I actually have found a lot of comfort in the symptoms. It's very reassuring, knowing like that my body is actually working and, feeling that like morning sickness. I was like, okay, this is good. Like this means that, my HCG levels are rising as they should and things like that. So I've enjoyed the process so far, and I'm just really looking forward to it.
That's awesome, especially because if you're going into that now, I have had two, and I had
Hmm.
those naturally. So like if you have that now with like the symptoms, like labor is gonna be easy because it's like every time one of those contractions comes through, it's like okay, I'm getting closer,
Yeah,
getting closer.
yeah,
Yeah, like I think a lot of women get really like scared of labor, but it's like our body's natural. We're meant to do this, so you can do it.
yeah. So you didn't have an epidural or anything?
No, one was born in a birth center in the bathtub, and my second was born just at home with me and the dad.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's good for you. Good for you. That's
Yeah.
so amazing. My birth plan does not include an epidural. Just, you know, it might come to that. I'm just
Right.
trying to be open-minded, but I want to be prepared for anything. So, learning like the breathing techniques and, how to, work with your body with the
Yep.
contractions and pushing versus kind of against it. I'm very holistic in my approach to life. So I really would prefer to work with my body and just trust my body that it knows what to do, like stress-free versus going the drug route. There's no shame going the drug route at all. I might do that. Like I might change my mind last minute and do that. So, I'm trying to stay really open-minded to whatever happens.
That's a good way to do it. If you haven't already, look into hypnobirthing.
I read that book.
Okay, great. That's what got
Yeah,
me
and I'm
started.
practicing like my husband's doing like the shoulder thing and
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
awesome.
practicing all that.
Side note, sorry.
No, you're fine. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. I'm so excited for you. So what would that be? 5 months from now?
July.
Oh, it's like right
Hot.
around the corner.
Yeah, that is right around the corner.
That's gonna
So
come quick.
exciting because I have a list of all the fashion shows that are coming up. Are you gonna go to every single one of them this year? How do you foresee like balancing business and being pregnant for the first time? Like, do you plan on being as in person as you have been in the past, or
So I'm definitely going to the Arnold. I'm actually doing a gender reveal on the Arnold stage. The production made me this really beautiful, like baby blue and baby pink suit. So I'm doing that on the Arnold stage, and then we're doing our celebration of moms fashion show in Baltimore on Mother's Day weekend. And so I'm a friend of mine is also pregnant due in July, so we're gonna walk together, pregnant, and then after June, I have not committed to any going in person to any fashion shows. We have a great team here at Angel Competition Bikinis. So it's kind of up in the air. I don't want to commit to, for example, going to the Olympia in October. I probably will be there, but I want all my ducks in a row and have other people committed and know that they're going. And then if I can go, if it works, I will be there. But I'm being very cautious about committing to something because I would rather, not commit and then decide last minute to go versus commit and then, who knows how the newborn stage is going to be. And so it's been a lot of planning, but luckily our business, we're 11 years old now. So we really have, systems in place to be able to thrive, even though both of the owners are pregnant.
that's so awesome.
That's smart because yeah, the
And you
better show up the last minute than to cancel and kind of potentially
Mhm.
let people down and yourself. You know what I mean? Like that's very smart. Just let it unfold naturally.
and that's such
Yeah.
a team. So I mean, you have a good solid team
Yeah.
for sure.
Yes. I'm so lucky, so lucky.
Do you think that has there been any struggles in a male-dominated sport or like industry,
Yes, there is. That's always been a struggle, just because, you know, it can be hard with, I feel like there can be not as much open-mindedness on, it's kind of hard for me to even elaborate why this is hard, but there are, some things that are set in ways where, we do follow all the rules, whether we want to or not. And it can be, I do feel like there is some intimidation when there's a female business owner. Unfortunately, it's, you can use it as a strength. One thing I try to live by is how do you turn your biggest weakness into your biggest strength? Not saying being a woman is my biggest weakness by any means at all, but to some, old-fashioned men, they do see that. And, being an opportunity, knowing that women business owners are the minority. So you do have the opportunity to stand out. You do have the opportunity to, when you're in a networking group, people are going to remember the women more than the men because, like, for example, a couple groups I'm in Kansas City, business owners, it's probably 5% women. So it does have its strengths and its weaknesses, but it's life. And I know that we're going in the right direction. There's more female business owners every single year.
Mhm. Oh, I love it. I love it. I think that's awesome.
Do you have a dream athlete that you'd like to see in one of your suits?
Ooh, that's a great question. So I really love Angelica. I would love to sponsor her, and especially because she's had two kids recently.
Retiring after this, Arnold?
I'm not sure.
I thought I saw that, but I
And
would love to see her. She could
you know,
do a fashion show though, honestly.
yeah, that would be amazing. When we started the business, our dream was to sponsor Ashley, and we did that. So, like, it's kind of a hard question because I'm like, oh, like we already do sponsor like the dream athlete that we always wanted to sponsor. But there's so many inspiring women that we would be honored to sponsor. We do have a limit for our sponsored athletes. So, as much as we would love to sponsor everyone, we obviously can't. So, it's there are a lot of athletes that we would love to sponsor in time.
I have a couple of questions from the audience. I have loose skin on my tummy. Can I still compete?
Oh, of course. Of course, you can compete. We see that all the time on stage and your midsection, you can do posing to really hide that. And then if you are nervous, if you don't have the confidence yet, you can definitely do a fashion show first, get on stage and have that community behind you in a non-competitive environment. You can definitely compete with loose skin.
And then you guys also have like the mommy cut, right?
Yes, we do have different cuts and we do start from scratch on every suit. So, if you do have a concern in your physique, such as loose skin, a C-section scar, if you have really big natural boobs, really small boobs, any concern you have, I really suggest you scheduling a consultation. You can do that free on our website and we can, really create a custom cut for your frame and whatever your concerns is, because the ultimate goal is to make you feel confident on stage.
We've kind of talked about it, but I just want a clarification for the question. It says, what is the Angels fashion show and is it a competition?
The Angel Fashion Show, it's a group of women that get on stage and we wear angel competition bikinis. But it's so much more than that. It's evolved into this amazing community of empowering women. We do some team building things the day before the fashion show. We all get to know each other. We divide the girls up into squads about 4 weeks before so that you can really like connect one-on-one with a group of 8 different girls. And then, the day of the fashion show, there's no competition. It's just all about you, all about the glam, all about feeling confident. And one thing that really sets the fashion show apart from a competition is the fact that it celebrates your quote unquote flaws. And, we encourage girls, to, show off whatever you're not the most confident about. Because when you really embrace, say, for example, loose skin, because we just had that question. If you have loose skin and you get on stage in the fashion show and you're super confident with your physique, with yourself, inside and out, there are going to be so many women in the audience that see that and they are inspired because of you. They aren't inspired by the girl that doesn't have that loose skin. They are inspired because of your flaw. So, quote unquote flaw. So using, as I said earlier, using what you think is your biggest weakness as your biggest opportunity, that is kind of one of the messages that we put in the fashion show because we're all women. We all have something that we're not confident about, but everyone has it. Everyone has something that they're not confident about. So if you can get on stage and flaunt that, it's going to be so inspiring to that woman in the audience that also has that.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Quick thing. Do you have the dates for the other shows? Like for the fashion shows, if you wanted to just name them off really quick to
Yeah, so we have the Arnold coming up. It is at capacity. That is March 1st. So we are full on that one. And then we have the Baltimore Celebration of Moms. You do not need to be a mom to walk. It's just to highlight the moms. So, before I was pregnant, I was going to walk with my mom. I probably still will. My dad has some serious health issues right now, so that's still up in the air, but you can walk with your mom or just by yourself. And then we're doing the USA Fit Games down in Dallas in June. And then in August, we actually have two fashion shows. We have one at the Anaheim Fit Expo that I am super excited about. I won't be there since I'll have like a 2-week-old, but it's our Disney themed show. We're all going to go to Disney World on the Monday after the show, and we're encouraging the girls to pick, a Disney character. I've been on stage as like a Jasmine inspired suit before. You don't have to pick a Disney character, but it's really exciting to, really like hype up that it's in the home of Disneyland. So we have that, and then we have our Nashville fashion show also in August, and then ending the year with the Olympia. And I know you, Vanessa, you've done the Olympia fashion show. So it's going to be different this year because one thing that as much as I love the Olympia, I love the expo, I love the directors and everything that put it on. It was a little discouraging that we were never on the main stage at the Olympia, compared to the Arnold where we are on the main stage. It's it is a little bit of a disappointment, to be completely honest, that we're on a side stage. So this year we have decided to not do the fashion show at the expo. It'll be on the Thursday before. We have rented out it's an intimate theater in Vegas to do the show. So we can do like lights, fog, we can do all the extra things to get that theater style fashion show. And I'm really, really excited that's why I haven't committed to going, but I really want to go to the Olympia this year. It's going to be super special.
That's so
incredible.
cool.
Mhm.
That is really cool. If somebody wanted to be a leader, they usually just like apply, right? But they have
Oh,
to,
to be a squad captain? Yes.
but they would have had to at least been on the stage one time prior.
Correct, correct. And I will say shout out to all the captains for the Angel Fashion Show because we truly could not do the show how we do it without them. It's crucial for them, to connect with those 8 girls and really answer all their questions. And, I have so much appreciation and gratitude for all the captains.
And I actually feel like you answered one of these, but did you have any big challenges with your business? And if so, how did you get through it? Like,
Yeah, we've had a lot of big challenges. So just one, for example, because I kind of talked about moving into this building. So the day before we were set to move, we had 2 banks backing us because this building was very expensive. So we needed to go with 2 banks, and one of them dropped out the day before.
oh,
So that was probably the biggest challenge we've had, just trying to navigate, just moving business, to a commercial space. And, we had to get this building rezoned manufacturing because it was zone commercial, all of that, like 2017, I also got married that year. So that was a crazy year, a lot of challenges. But one thing I kind of mentioned before is we always dive into challenges with the mindset of growth, of learning, because, there are always, always going to be challenges. And as long as you can learn from them, you're going in the right direction.
love it. Do you have any productivity hacks? That was another question.
Oh my gosh. I'm really into the concept of productivity. So, anything from probably one of the best productivity hacks I have is this app called Text Expander, and it just kind of it types for you. So, for example, if I type on my computer ACB IG, that populates with Angel Competition Bikinis. So it just, little things like that speed up during the day. I'm really big into the 2 second lean concept. If you haven't read that book, it's a great book for productivity, just making everything as efficient as possible. And also at the same time, I can dive too deep into things like getting like so focused on productivity, it can actually try to hurt you. So trying to stay with my authentic work, nature and be as productive as possible, giving myself grace is it's been a learning experience.
Yeah.
Relatable.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
Grace and to others and yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one was, will we see any of the angel competitions at trail events? And like, what would that potentially look like?
Yeah, we will definitely be at, because I think you have a posing workshop this year that we're going to be at, and just we like to be involved as much as possible.
And if you guys aren't physically guys gonna be there, you guys are gonna like you guys will have like the fabrics, right?
Yeah, yeah, we'd love supporting the athletes. So, even like sending socks, we have these affirmation socks they're really thin, so they work well under your posing heels. And, sending those to all the girls in attendance, any way that we can help your team and the trail business succeed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Is there anything that you would like to see from us moving forward? Like how we could better support you guys or share or whatever?
just bringing awareness to our company and the fashion show, that really goes a long way. Referring your athletes to us, that's the biggest compliment you can give us. If you get a suit and you love it and then you refer us to someone, that really shows that you do love us, and that helps us more than we could even tell you in words. So, just helping awareness, sharing what we share, building up and empowering the fitness community and in a positive way. There can be a lot of negativity, especially I've seen it with this new fit model division. Just staying very open-minded in things that you post because you never really know you know, you never know behind the scenes for anything really. So, just keeping it positive and trying to, stay open-minded.
Yeah. Yes. We literally, our last episode that we were talking about was like people being ugly, not physically, but like emotionally and just internally.
Yeah, spiritually or in their heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're very much into the positivity.
Hmm.
Positivity and also welcoming because we want to make sure that Trail Champions is, yes, it is very bodybuilding forward, but we also welcome everybody on different wakes of life, both men and women, and other sports too, or people that are just getting into bodybuilding or just, you know, starting their weight loss journey too.
Hmm.
So I think that there is a lot of overlap and a lot of amazing growth whenever it does come to that Angel Fashion Show. I remember whenever I did the fashion show, like I didn't want to do it. I did want to do it, but I didn't just because I wasn't necessarily comfortable in my own skin. But then I was like, no, I have to do it no matter what, just because like I have to practice what I preach about being comfortable and like showing that confidence or finding that confidence within
Hmm.
myself, you know? So
Yep.
that was why I did it.
Yeah, I love that.
We appreciate you. I don't know. Do you have any other questions?
Where can everybody follow you and Angel Competition Bikinis?
Yeah, definitely follow our Instagram at Angel Competition Bikinis. My personal Instagram is at Karah ACB. That's Karah ACB. And going to our website, acbikinis.com. We have a lot of resources there. We have, quizzes to find your perfect cut. We have resources of upcoming posing clinics and, everything. And that reminds me, Vanessa, we need to get your posing clinics on our calendar so people can see that in your shows. So yeah, just being involved in our community, spreading the positivity and, just being there. So following all our social media.
All
Yeah.
right.
Cool.
Awesome.
Well, we appreciate you and just let us know how else, like, in the future, just if there's anything that you need from us. I know my dream is to have, I think they would say like like, I don't want it to say talk, but like having our own like team suits. I think that would be really cool.
That would be neat.
Yeah.
Oh, like practice suits?
Yeah, practice suits.
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
That would be neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to figure that out. But
Yeah.
there's something in the works that I would like to do, at least for the champions retreats. So appreciate you, and then we'll be in touch.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. This was fun.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Kara.
Thank you.